Now, let's join ace broadcaster Mamode Akuga as he takes us inside the Niger Delta.
Hello out there and welcome to the program. It's Inside the Niger Delta, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region. I am your regular host, Mamode Akuga. On today's edition of the program, our focus will be on some recent developments in the oil-rich states of Rivers, Delta, and Bayelsa. We begin with Rivers State, where the ongoing environmental cleanup project has sparked off controversies that may have been heightened by the recent handover of polluted sites to contracting firms in Ogoni land. Next on our lineup is a special report on Aboh community in Ndokwa East local government area of Delta State, where development has been stifled by lack of access roads to neighboring communities. And finally on the program, we bring you some cheering news about the development strides of Governor Gov Dickson in Bayelsa State, where the recent completion of an international airport has brought succor to the people. Today's edition of Inside the Niger Delta, as usual, promises to take you on a fascinating trip to Nigeria's oil-rich region. We'll be right back after this time out.
Inside the Niger Delta.
Welcome back. It's Inside the Niger Delta, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region. The much-touted Ogoni Clean Up project is still immersed in controversies, despite the recent handover of polluted sites to contractors for the commencement of full remediation work on impacted communities. Correspondent Tekena Amilfore reports that the controversy surrounding the Ogoni Clean Up project is fueled by people's rejection of the implementations of the United Nations Environment Program, UNEP, on the cleanup of Ogoni land.
The Environmental Rights Action and Friends of the Earth Nigeria, a non-governmental organization that has monitored closely the environmental cleanup process in Ogoni land since the submission of the UNEP report to the federal government in August 2011, says the much-touted environmental remediation exercise in Ogoni land is mere hype.
The report finds monumental deviation that has eroded public confidence and will likely compromise the quality of the cleanup process. Hence, we request HYPREP to stick to the concrete recommendations relating to the cleanup process.
The organization further states that the outcome of its recent field investigations reveals that HYPREP has completely deviated from the recommendations of UNEP. It has therefore advised HYPREP to adopt a new and workable plan for the remediation of polluted sites in Ogoni land.
So, apart from the list of over 170 firms who submitted their expression of interest and bid documents, there is an information gap in the public domain on who the successful companies are, where they come from, track record of similar work done, and the terms of the contract. It is now international best practice to publicly disclose the terms, scope, and cost of contracts entered between entities such as HYPREP and each of the companies selected to commence the cleanup process in the 16 selected sites. We recommend that HYPREP should develop and put in the public domain a 5-year work plan.
The position of the civil society group is coming on the heels of a controversy arising from the handover recently of polluted sites in Ogoni land to contracting firms engaged by the federal government. It was also in reaction to a growing tension in Ogoni land over perceived compromise of the cleanup exercise that some angry youths decided to set ablaze a coaster bus belonging to HYPREP in Kidere community, where the implementing agency of the UNEP report went on a visit to hand over polluted sites to contractors.
If the government have gone through the stages of setting up the governance structures and the IOCs actually contributing the funds, at least the first tranche of the funds has been contributed, and then the sites have been assessed, contract awarded, and contractors now on site to start the remediation. May not be the method may not be the best, the approach may not be the best, But should we stop them? Should we now say, look, Muhammadu Buhari, since 2011, this report came out, all the administration that came up from that time till now, nobody did anything, and you have decided to do something because you're not doing it the way we want. Don't do it. Don't even, just leave it. When will we allow them to come and clean? In fact, we should allow them to clean, and after cleaning, allow them to come and begin to drill the oil.
Most disenchanted Ogonis say their grouse with the implementation of the cleanup project is due to their exclusion from the entire exercise. They also allege that the activities of HYPREP have been shrouded in secrecy. Before the handover of polluted sites to contractors, some Ogoni elders at a media briefing last month in Port Harcourt had flawed the cleanup exercise, accusing HYPREP of ignoring the recommendations of UNEP, whose report midwifed the cleanup project.
We are concerned that the manner and process for the implementation of the recommendations of the UNEP report run completely counter to the assurances given by the federal government, and more importantly, the very recommendations of the report itself. We consider it very sad that as we speak, not only has nothing been done about any of these emergency measures, but also the national and international visibility of Ogoni issue has been fraudulently exploited to score cheap public relations benefits at every opportunity.
The Ogoni elders had also alleged that HYPREP has refused to consult with the people in carrying out its mandate, a position that has been buttressed by other Ogoni groups.
Provide common as water. You have not done that. The Ministry of Environment is supposed to work with the state government, the local government. HYPREP is not working with the local government that are close to the people, to the best of my knowledge. What happened to the contract of communication that was given to an outsider when we have Ogoni people who can know how you can communicate with Ogoni people? When we have media people who have been in the project with Ogoni people, who resident in River State, who are River people, who are even people who are not from River State, who live in River State, who can communicate with Ogoni people. Then you take media consultant out of Ogoni land. And that is why you see that Ogoni people don't even understand what the HYPREP is doing. Because there's no communication.
The controversy trailing last month's handover of polluted sites to contractors is in spite of the optimism that greeted the event as heralding the actual commencement of the Ogoni Clean Up exercise, which was officially flagged off by Vice President Yemi Oshibanjo in 2016.
Inside the Niger Delta.
Well, our crew actually reached out to the Hydrocarbon Pollution Remediation Project, HYPREP, for its position on the alleged poor implementation of the Ogoni Clean Up project, but didn't get a positive response. We hope that HYPREP finds time to state its position on the controversial Ogoni Clean Up project. Nigeria's Niger Delta region has so many towns with very proud history. History of success in commerce, warfare, and politics. One of such towns is Aboh in Delta State. Aboh Town is the center of Aboh Kingdom and current headquarters of Ndokwa East local government area. An oil-producing area, by the way. The town is on the banks of the river Niger, and this makes it very prone to flooding. Last year, during the flooding season, Inside the Niger Delta tried to visit the town but could not get there as a result of floods which had rendered the roads impassable. Well, it's the dry season now, and we successfully visited Aboh, and this is what we found. Well, Nigeria's Niger Delta region is made up of so many towns, communities, villages. Some you can get to by road, others you have to get to by water. And they all seem to have something, in common on the development. During the rainy season, several episodes ago of Inside the Niger Delta, we tried to get to Aboh when we were, doing the story of flooding in the Niger Delta, and it was really difficult. It was so flooded, so we could not get to Aboh. And I told myself at that time that once the rains are over, I will definitely get to Aboh. Arriving in Aboh, one of the first things you will see is the local government secretariat and indeed other offices of government agencies like the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Aboh has a population of between 7,000 and 8,000 inhabitants, and the town is over 400 years old.
Aboh Town, we migrated from Benin and got here 1483. We arrived here. We came here and met some people living here. And by conquest, we took it over and then start managing the place up till now.
Aboh Town is bilingual, with Aboh and Isoko languages spoken freely amongst the population. From time immemorial, you could not access Aboh by road until former governor of Delta State, Governor James Onanefe Ibori, built the historic Ashaka Bridge across the Ase River, which links Aboh on the river Niger to other Okwane towns and villages. Though Aboh is not connected to the national grid, it has the unique status of being one of the very few communities in Nigeria that enjoys 24-hour electricity supply. This is courtesy of Ajib Oil Company through the Okbai Independent Power Project.
I know people envy us, but we see it as like a God gift to us, because it is not only that it's free, it is constant. No one house here pays a dime. It's free of charge. The service is free. The transformers are free. No tariff. As such, it's like one of the greatest achievements of all modern modernization. Our nightlife there have actually improved drastically. Not only that, because of the presence of the electricity, the light here, our sons and our daughters are coming home to erect great buildings, and we have a street light in all the streets, which was actually donated by one of our illustrious
Okay,
sons.
not government.
No, not government. One of our illustrious sons, Engineer Kingsley Ogu. He donated street light for all the poles in all the streets. We have about 11 streets here, and the major Obiopute Road.
You are the reason why Aboh shines at night. The street lights, and they even talk about boreholes that you put in the town. Why?
I had to come in with a borehole, knowing fully well that water is a major problem here. During the flooding season, it was flooded. The Ajib switched off the light for safety, and there was no water in the town. And people cannot go and use drink the water from the river. But this sustained the whole community because there's a clean water, and it's solar powered, and that was enjoyed all through the season. You move around a community where there's constant power and everywhere is dark. You don't know who is who. So it now poised me that yes, I think there's a project I need to embark on. Yeah, and that is what informed putting street light all over the place within the town. So at night, it's everywhere shining. You come into the community, I know you. It's easier to identify strange faces. So with that, we're able to achieve brightness everywhere. People come out in the night to move around the street. If you see strangers, you're able to challenge or call police just for safety.
With 24 hours electricity supply, one would have thought that industries and manufacturing firms will be rushing to Aboh to establish. But Aboh is only accessible by road for at most 9 months in a year.
The access road to the community is a major challenge. Because during the last flooding season, so many areas of the road, shed off. So now government is working on it. We hope they will do a better job. So if the roads are done as expected, I believe the industries will come in. Yeah, and more job opportunities will come up. More people will have jobs and community more lively. And I think it will be better.
This is what happens during the rainy season. Aboh is over on the other side. Unfortunately, they say, of course, we can't get there. The entire place is all in water. Everywhere there is underwater. This road was just cut off completely. But now we have some kind of work going on here. There are boulder stones underneath, and some bags have been put on top just to ensure that people can move on this road, trying to get to Aboh community. But I'm here with some youths from Oko community. I want to try to find out from them what the situation is out here. Nobody can get to Aboh right now.
No, nobody goes to Aboh right now.
And you are telling me that there's another portion of this road that is very, very bad as well.
We have about 4 different junctions that are even worse than these.
Several months ago during the rainy season, I was standing in this same location. This is on the road from Ashaka to Aboh, and this place was completely impassable. So what the government of Delta State needs to do is to get this road fixed in such a way that you could have, I'm not an engineer, but you could have big culverts here so that when the water wants to pass through, it does not cut the road into two, as we witnessed here that during the rainy season it was impassable, vehicles could not go through. So people who would love to go to Aboh to invest will think about how to truck their produce when it's raining season and floods everywhere. It will be completely impossible for them to truck out their goods, and I think that is one of the real reasons why investors are not trooping to Aboh, where you have 24-hour uninterrupted power supply. Also, Aboh, which is in Delta State, is a shouting distance from Undoni in River State. Standing now in the jetty in Aboh. Aboh is in Delta State. It's a community that suffers so much during rainy season when it gets flooded. Even this jetty, which is very high right now, I'm told that in the rainy season it's completely flooded and taken over, and you cannot even distinguish where the jetty is during the rainy season. Now, if you just look over there, I don't know how our cameras can be able to zoom in there, but it's not so far off. That is Ndoni, and that is River State. In fact, some of the boat drivers here can tell you which house belongs to who. Prominent people from Ndoni. One of those prominent people, of course, is Dr. Peter Odili, former governor of River State, and they can point his house to you from here. It's 10 minutes by boat ride, but if you were to go by road, it will take you about 4 hours to go to Ndoni by road. But you can just access it less than 10 minutes by boat. So it's the major problem in the Niger Delta, linking riverine communities and communities in the upland. Aboh is also home to a historical monument which the federal and state government needs to restore and preserve. It's the 108-year-old one-story building built by the late Obi of Aboh, Obi Oputa II, between 2011 and 2012.
The brick building you're seeing here, the edifice standing before you now, is owned by His Royal Highness Obi Oputa II of Aboh Kingdom. It was built 1911. I stand to be corrected if I'm making a mistake. It is the tallest one-story building in Nigeria, and the decking is made of oak wood, which you can walk in and you see.
And the roof, is this still the same roof from when it was built?
From the day it was built, this is the same roof. It has never been changed.
1911, 1912?
1911, and roofing was 12. Ago, the Ministry of Tourism was here.
Okay.
They've come in, they've taken their inventories, and we are looking forward to them coming back.
On the whole, Aboh Town, the center of Aboh Kingdom, has so much going for it. But in order to fully maximize its potentials, the government at both the federal and state levels must do the needful to turn this bilingual town with uninterrupted power supply into a cosmopolitan town with a thriving economy.
Inside the Niger Delta.
History was made recently in Bayelsa State when the brand new airport constructed by Governor Gov Dickson recorded its maiden flight. The construction of the Bayelsa International Airport is described as a milestone in the development of the state.
From across the 8 local government areas of Bayelsa State, the people turned out in their numbers to witness the historic maiden flight at the Bayelsa International Airport. Among them were some state officials who described the successful delivery of the airport as a remarkable reflection of Governor Dickson's vision to develop the state.
The governor, talks about taking Bayelsa to the world and bringing the world to Bayelsa. This is what it's all about. The Ijaw nation, for the very first time, will be having an international airport of this standard. And it's something to celebrate.
Because with an airport like this, you know that trade will be easily facilitated. In fact, international trade, because from here people can actually, travel out directly and then get goods being delivered to them directly here. We don't need to go to Port Harcourt or any other nearby state to access international travel.
The Bayelsa International Cargo Airport sits on a virgin land reclaimed from a vast swampy terrain. In spite of the many challenges it encountered in the process of building the airport, the restoration government of Governor Dickson was bent on delivering to the people what is now referred to as the gateway to the sustainable development of Bayelsa State.
Our state is a very rural state. Our state is very deltaic, as you know. Our state is full of creeks. Our state, we had to build. In fact, the airport you saw today, we spent years creating the land to build this airport. What you see here is not land. What you see here is about 3.5 meters of sand filling first, before we then put on the various layers of tarmac on.
When we started this airport, exchange rate was about $95. But today, as I speak to you, the exchange rate is 365 naira. That alone should show common sense that the cost of the project can never be the same cost as at the time the project was conceived. And so it will be bad politics, bad belly, jealousy, envy, inability to admit failure for them to say that the governor is spending above what was budgeted for this project. I also hear them say this project airport is flooded. They should go, if they are very good, they should take a topographic survey of this place. I was here with my Lord Bishop, the Bishop of the Body Diocese, in September, the peak of the flood, when everywhere was flooded in Niger. There was not even an encroach of water on this airport. So that again is another sheep blackmail. All the aviation experts that have visited this airport say that this is one and the best airport that we have in the whole of Nigeria.
This is what we've been praying for. Grandiose infrastructural projects like this. Deployment of massive infrastructure that will change the landscape of the Niger Delta. And as you can see, the pressure on a place like Port Harcourt Airport has been becoming too much for people who are from the riverine area, the core riverine Niger Delta. This is the Bayelsa that is said to be more deltaic than Delta State and more riverine than River State. And so we are so excited.
The Bayelsa International Airport was conceived in 2012, soon after Governor Dickson was elected into office, and has so far gulped about 58 billion naira. The governor says it was a deliberate attempt to reposition Bayelsa as the glory of all lands.
Because I'm governor, but I'm essentially of Bayelsa. So I share in their joy, I share in their sense of pride, I share in the sense of achievement. This is a great project. It's an important project for our people. It's not one of those fancy projects. The intention is to bring the world to Bayelsa through this airport investment and to take Bayelsa also to the world. I want to commend my team, especially the Commissioner for Works and Infrastructure, who in the last 7 years dedicated so much of his time to this project. I want to commend all the other members of my team who all gave support. And this is a shared vision. So I want to give credit to everybody. I commend the contractors, commend the host communities, and we give God the glory.
In recognition of the fact that no meaningful development can take place in an atmosphere of insecurity, the government has taken a bold step to beef up security in Bayelsa State with the relaunch of the state-owned security outfit codenamed Operation Duakbo.
Whether you are in APC or PDP or you have no party at all, Operation Duakbo is here to serve you. Your government is here to serve you. Government is for the people. And crime and criminality have no partisan barrier. There are no APC criminals, and no PDP criminals. Criminals are criminals. And criminals must be dealt with according to the laws.
The state government recently donated scores of brand new patrol vehicles to the Bayelsa Community Safety Corps, which now has the legal backing of the state to fight crime through the instrumentality of Operation Doakbo.
The people of Bayelsa State can attest to the fact that they have been getting quality service, they have been getting prompt response to distress calls. Now that the governor has relaunched Doakbo, I assure them that the services will even be improved upon now than before.
Governor Dickson is optimistic that his transformation agenda will serve as a wellspring for his successor when in 2020 he would have served out his full term of 8 years in office.
Inside the Niger Delta.
Well, that's how much we can take on today's edition of the program. You can also stay connected by following us on our social media handles showing on your screen right now. Inside the Niger Delta, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region, will be back same time next week. Until then, I'm yours sincerely, Mahmoud Akuga, thanking you all for staying tuned. Bye for now.